My name is Saskia Brandt and I'm a trainer consultant at MDF Training and Consultancy. I will explain to you how at MDF we use theory-based evaluations. It is an approach to evaluation in which you analyze the change that happened in a program in relation to its theory of change, or TOC. A theory of change is a theory of how a program imagines that change will come about and the factors that influence it. It comprises a so-called pathway of change. Let us see what that looks like. Suppose I have a program that assumes that inclusive governance leads to peace and stability. For that to be achieved, we need authorities to accept civil participation in security matters. We also need people to invest actually in their own security. For people to invest in their own security, they need to know what to do, but they also need to accept that they have a role to play in their own security and peacekeeping. For that to happen, there is an NGO that trains community groups on civic engagement and methods to work with security forces. For the authorities to accept civil participation in security matters, the NGO raises their awareness on collaboration with civilians. Our first step in evaluations is to work with stakeholders in reproducing their own TOC. We print the cards like we do here, and we ask them to arrange them. This helps the evaluator to understand to what extent the TOC is part of people's work. Do they recognize the steps? Are they new to them? Or do they maybe realize that the TOC no longer reflects the reality of their program? The next step is to identify where the focus will be during the evaluation. Usually, this is the outcome area or the sphere of influence. We do that by adding color to our cards. We give a green color to our sphere of interest or the impact level. This is our dot on the horizon that we have very little control over. We give yellow to our outcome level, our sphere of influence. This is where the program seeks to influence without having full control over the outcomes. We give the color red to our sphere of control, or the output level. The NGO trains, and they have a fair measure of control over what people will learn during the training. With our stakeholders, we identify on which outcomes we will focus during the evaluation. In our analysis, we then compare what has been actually achieved by the program and what did the program set out to do. We then look back at our theory. Does it still hold? Are the assumptions underlying our theory still correct? In a sense-making session, we then try to learn from this comparison and jointly draw conclusions about the future strategy of the program. So why would you use theory of change in an evaluation? It adds depth to your analysis, it helps you to learn from the experience, and it allows you to determine to what extent you can replicate the program in another context.